Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody is having a great time and a great afternoon here at the GI Jobs Virtual Career Expo. My name is Chris Hale, and I personally know how hard it is to transition from the military into the private sector. When I left the Navy back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I found very few resources to help me transition, and what was there was of very poor quality. I found civilian employers, colleges, franchisors, they didn't understand us, and they certainly didn't understand the value that me and others who served on active duty in the military brought to their organization. So in 2001, myself, Rich McCormick, and Scotty Shaw, two other veterans, we did that to change that narrative. We are a veteran-owned business, and Victory is a veteran-owned business. We're the company that owns GI Jobs. We're now in our 20th year. I'm very proud of our team who brings their talent and passion to work every day to deliver our mission, which is to connect the military community to civilian opportunity. Our team is amazing, but we're not perfect. So let you know that we are fiercely committed to meeting and exceeding your expectations. So whether you're an exhibitor or an attendee today, please fill out the satisfaction surveys at the conclusion of the event. You should get those in your emails, and also it'll be on the platform. Let us know what we did well, and certainly let us know what we need to do better. I promise you that we value your feedback, and we will take that feedback and turn it into improvement as fast as we can. I'm broadcasting live here from the GI Jobs headquarters. We're near the Pittsburgh airport. Now, Pittsburgh does not have a very strong active duty military presence, for those of you who are not familiar with Pittsburgh, but it does have one of the highest percentages of veteran populations in the country and a very, very strong reserve and guard presence here. In fact, our office overlooks what I call the Pentagon of Pittsburgh because of all the military units here. We've got all 5 branches of service represented here, to include the biggest presence is Air Force with the 171st Air National Guard refueling wing that flies the KC-135 Stratotankers, as well as the 911th Air Force Reserve Base that flies the C-17s. So, speaking of Air Force, I am highly honored to have such an accomplished Air Force veteran with us here today. I first met Gordon Logan at our 2015 Veteran-Owned Business Expo when we honored him as the 2015 Vetrapreneur of the Year. Now, when you first meet Gordon, you are definitely struck by a couple of things. His cowboy hat, which you can see today, and his cowboy hats, which you can't, but maybe he'll show them to us. And it doesn't take long, however, to recognize this man's humility, his approachability, and his Southern charm. What you uncover next is that you're talking to a really, really smart guy. Gordon has an engineering degree from probably the best engineering school in the world, MIT, and an MBA from one of the top business schools in the world, Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. And then the more time you spend with Gordon, you uncover that this is a man of the highest principles, a very driven and successful man, and a very generous man who gives back to his community. Gordon founded Sport Clips in 1993 in Austin, Texas, and he has grown it to nearly 2,000 stores. I'm probably sure everybody here has seen or gotten their hair cut, except for me. It's been a while for me, in one of Gordon's Sport Clips stores. His company employs 17,000 people and has about $700 million in annual revenues. Sport Clips gives nearly 100,000 haircuts a day. Now, we're in Pittsburgh. Let me put that into perspective for you. That's like cutting the hair of all of the people in Heinz Field and PNC Park every single day. That's a lot of people. So these guys can handle some serious capacity. In addition to being named 2015 Vetrapreneur of the Year by us, Gordon has also been named the 2015 Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year, the 2016 International Franchise Association Entrepreneur of the Year. Sport Clips is ranked number 2 best franchises by Forbes. Gordon is a board member of the International Franchise Association, and much, much more. He has been untiring in his pursuit of giving back to the veteran community. In addition to chairing the IFA's VetFran Mentor Initiative, he's an avid member and an avid supporter of the VFW, and Sport Clip Foundation has awarded $8 million in veteran education scholarships. It's really tremendous. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to give you one of our own, Air Force veteran, founder and chairman of Sport Clips, Mr. Gordon Logan. Gordon.
Thank you, Chris, for that generous introduction. I'll try to live up to it. Congratulations to everyone for exploring employment opportunities at today's GI Jobs Virtual Career Expo, and thank you for your service. I'm confident that you will find your military experience will serve you well in your civilian career the rest of your life. I know mine did. Let me give you some background on my experience with the Air Force and in my career. After earning a degree in mechanical engineering, I worked as an engineer. But before a year was up, an Air Force recruiter convinced me that flying airplanes would be more fun, and he was right. It was the right decision for me, and I'm thankful to that recruiter for steering me in the right direction. The backstory, which some of you may appreciate, is that I applied to join the Air Force as an engineer. And when the recruiter called me and told me I'd been accepted for pilot training, I said, well, I didn't apply for pilot training. He said, I know, but we have plenty of engineers. We need more pilots, so I hope you don't mind if I change your application. Well, he invited me to come down and watch an Air Force recruiting video titled The Longest Year, 53 Weeks, about pilot training. The lead was a Tom Cruise lookalike married to a Nicole Kidman lookalike, driving a really cool red convertible, and I was sold. So later I found out the recruiters got a bonus for signing pilot trainees, so there was an ulterior motive at work. I was active duty 69 through 74, flew C-130s in Europe and Southeast Asia, and then reserves from 74 to 76. Last year, I was on active duty. I was a maintenance functional test pilot, checking out all the aircraft had been overhauled or grounded for some reason, mostly routine flights and interspersed with some very exciting moments. Air Force was a great experience. I learned a lot about building and leading teams and working with people from all types of background. Both are valuable lessons to learn and have served me well in my professional career. After the Air Force, I realized I needed additional education to pursue a career outside of engineering. So I went back to grad school while flying in the reserves at Willow Grove Naval Air Station outside of Philadelphia to help pay the bills. I would have to say that flying in reserves was like having your own flying club, and they paid us to do it. Monthly meetings were, who would like to put 20 hours on an airframe next week? And, okay, Captain Logan, get a crew together and let us know where you want to go. Hello, Las Vegas. It was a great experience. After graduation, I worked as a financial planning and control consultant with Price Waterhouse for 4 years. I was hired by a World War II Navy vet who became my mentor and lifelong friend. I think I learned more from Bill than I ever did in school about hard work, attention to detail, thinking outside the box, and setting stretch goals and then working to achieve them. And never say never. He was fond of quoting Winston Churchill. Never give in, never give in, never, 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 never. Success often goes to those who just refuse to quit. There's several lessons in all of this. While my life took some unexpected twists and turns, I knew after a couple of years studying engineering that my life's calling lay in the business world and not in engineering. I'd planned to go to grad school before I made that detour with the Air Force. Then I followed up after active duty to complete the additional training I needed to succeed in the business world. It's important to have a life plan. There may be detours or unexpected opportunities that take you in a different direction, but as General Eisenhower said, plans are worthless, but planning is essential. Or to quote the great philosopher Yogi Berra, if you don't know where you're going, you might wind up somewhere else. Plans are almost always going to change. They'll need adjustments as you proceed through life, but having a strategy to achieve your goals is critical to your life decisions. That will affect the decisions you make when you take your next or first job and throughout your life, how you direct your career. Always be looking 5-10 years ahead and ensure that you're making decisions today that will prepare you for your future success. And life is all about options. Hard work on the front end of your career will pay big dividends in the future, giving you options to pursue career paths you could hardly imagine today. Believe me, I never dreamed I'd wind up running a chain of hair salons and barbershops. Stats from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York show that only 27% of college grads work in a job that is closely related to their major, so you never know where you might wind up. I guess I'm the poster boy for that, from engineering to hair salons. The key is to do your absolute best at whatever you're doing, whatever job you're in. Learn as much as you can. Take advantage of experiences and training that will move you towards achieving your goals. Your future is yours to design and execute. Be honest with yourself as to what skills you need to develop and make sure you're doing what's necessary to build a solid foundation for your future. Many of us got excellent training in the military that prepares us for a civilian career. But what got you to where you are today won't necessarily get you to where you want to be. Ask prospective employers what opportunities will be available to you, not only in your specific area of expertise, but also in areas that can expand your options for your future. Prospective employers will be impressed that you're looking for opportunities for advancement and that you have a longer-term career vision. They're hiring for leadership skills as well as hard skills. As an employer, I can tell you, we're not only looking for employees with the appropriate hard skills, but career-minded people with a positive attitude who are a good culture fit and with soft skills and a desire to learn and grow. Culture is critical. You should evaluate the culture of any company you interview. This is difficult to determine in a first interview, but do your research. Look up feedback on websites like Glassdoor or Comparably, where current employees rate companies on the culture and how much they care about their people. Culture flows from values. Our Sport Clips values are borrowed from Coach Lou Holtz, who created a video training program while he was head coach at Notre Dame titled Do Right. This told a story of how he took kids from all over the country from all different backgrounds, like the military, and molded them into national championship football teams. I wrote to Coach Holtz, that was before email, and asked him permission to use his material in our training programs, which he graciously granted. And that's resulted in a 25-year friendship with an outstanding individual whom I admire very much. This philosophy is summed up as do the right thing, do your best, and treat people the way they want to be treated. These are good, simple rules to follow, to live by, as well as for the foundation of how we built Sport Clips from a startup to almost 2,000 locations in all 50 states and Canada. Don't be afraid to ask about company culture and values. Some are more visible than others, but all companies have cultures of some type, just as each platoon, squadron, or other military unit has their unique values and cultures that create bonds that those who haven't served may not understand. You have to have a strong culture when you depend on your buddy to have your back, and that's the kind of company you want to join and build a long-term career. Outstanding companies will appreciate that you ask about their culture, and they'll be proud to tell you about it. Here's some lessons I learned in the Air Force that served me well. No one is an island. It's all about people and teamwork. Over my years as an entrepreneur, I've come to realize more and more that people make the difference. The rest you can create, but having the right people on your team is a key to long-term success. This is true today as ever, perhaps more so. Make sure you're an exceptional team player. Strive to always be a positive contributor, someone who everybody wants on their team. And leaders take care of their people first. This builds trust and creates the willingness of people to go above and beyond for the team. When you say, follow me, you want to be sure your team's behind you. As you grow into leadership positions, this will be the key to your sustained success. And great leaders share the praise. Coach Bear Bryant said, if anything goes bad, I did it. If anything goes semi-good, we did it. If anything goes really good, then I'm quick to give credit to the ones who made it happen. That's all it takes to get people to win football games for you. Well, that philosophy also works in the business world. Learn from the experience of those who've gone before you. In the military, it was tech manuals, checklists, war stories, etc. The tribal knowledge can be powerful, and each company has their own version. Learn from the winners, those who are making things happen. Hitch your wagon to the best and let them lead you on the path to career success. Then, when you're successful, remember to reach out and lend a helping hand to those who come behind you to build a solid team of winners. Pay attention to detail. Overlooking a detail in the military can lead to disaster very quickly. In the business world, It is often attention to details that sets the truly exceptional apart from the rest. You always want to be that person who goes the extra mile, does what you know needs to be done without waiting to be asked. I assure you, you will be noticed. And remember, nothing works out exactly like you plan. Be flexible. React to changing circumstances. Uncertainty is forever. Change is accelerating. Disruption is common, and we can neither predict nor control events. There will be no new normal. It's just going to be a continuous series of not normal times. Whether we prevail or fail will depend more on what we do than what the world does to us. As you progress in your career, remember that success is not final, and in the business world, failure is seldom fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts, and that's Winston Churchill again. The greatest leaders care as much about values as victory, as much about purpose as profit, as much about being useful as being successful. It's true that no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And always remember to give back. Veterans typically hire other veterans, as happened with me in my first job after the Air Force. As veterans, we know and appreciate the military experience that can translate into business success. And I strongly encourage you to support organizations that support veterans, like the VFW, American Legion, and the USO. Good luck in your future careers. When luck comes your way, good or bad, maximize on what Jim Collins calls your return on luck. We can't control external events. We can only control how we react to them. Every challenge is also an opportunity. Be alert to take advantage of the opportunities that will surely come your way as circumstances change. I hope you've picked up a thought or two that would be helpful in your transition from the military to your civilian career. Thank you for having me join you today. I'm glad to be here. Back to you, Chris.
Gordon, thank you so much. Great words. Do you have a few minutes to stick around and answer a few questions after?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
We have a few questions we would like to pose to you. First of all, I just want to say, and I mentioned this to you before when you mentioned Lou Holtz, but when I was a paper boy, when I was a little kid, Lou Holtz was the head coach at the University of Arkansas, the Razorbacks, and I actually lived in Arkansas for about 4 or 5 years. And one of the guys, the old guys on my paper route, was a big Lou Holtz fan, and so I remember fondly many great stories about him. And obviously, he went to Notre Dame and achieved, even more success after Arkansas. But
that was his first national championship.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And kind of when I saw, I just thought the world of him, very influenced as a young kid. And when I saw that Sport Clips took their, core beliefs from Lou, I said, that's a pretty good organization. So good stuff. So we've got a few questions here. We've got a few minutes to pose those to you. One of the questions is, do you still keep in touch with any of your friends from the military?
Yeah, I have. I was on the phone just a few weeks ago with one of my buddies from pilot training, and you do form some bonds with people that you come through the military with, and shared experiences, and those friendships will last a lifetime. So there's a small group of us, relatively small group, that were very tight. Especially in pilot training. It seems like the ones I went through pilot training with, I've stayed in closer contact than the ones that I was with in active duty. But I think everybody has those relationships that time just seems to go by. I was talking to one of my friends not long ago, hadn't talked to him in probably 10 years, and it was just like yesterday. So all those things come back very quickly.
Yeah, we got another question here, Gordon. I think you touched on this in your presentation, but why the haircut business?
Well, one of my friends from college asked me if it was something I read about on the back of a matchbook cover. It just when I was at Price Waterhouse, a friend and I were looking at opportunities for businesses, and we looked at a lot, and it became obvious he wanted to be in the restaurant business and I didn't. But it started me thinking about being in business for myself. And I read this article in the Wall Street Journal one day about this new hair care franchise that seemed too good to be true. And as it turned out, it was too good to be true. But anyway, it got me interested in the industry, and I became a franchisee. And and found it was really a good business opportunity, and I've been here ever since. So I opened my first salon in February of 1979. So it's been a good ride. I was in the full service end of the business for about 15 years before we started Sport Clips, and Sport Clips has been a lot of fun and enables us to do a lot of fun things. We do a lot of sports sponsorships, and I'm a big NASCAR fan, and we've been working with Joe Gibbs Racing, another great football coach, for the last 12, 13 years. And so it's been a tremendous opportunity. And the nice thing about franchising is one of my favorite sayings is Zig Ziglar, who's an old country philosopher. And Zig said, you can have anything in life you want if you help other people get what they want. And to me, that's what franchising is all about. And as a franchisor, the most rewarding thing is to create a system where you can see people. Well, the first person I ever hired for Sport Clips is still with me. Julie came on board in June of '93, and she's one of our vice presidents, member of our leadership team now. But to create opportunities where people can build careers and have a success in their life, and our franchisees to help them achieve their dreams and goals, that's the most rewarding thing about being in franchising. And I think that's the most rewarding thing about any career you may pursue is seeing the success of people that you've helped. And those things last forever, and you create friendships that last forever, just like you did in the military.
Yeah, I think, that's the fact that great stuff. And the fact that you went into something that was completely seems the polar opposite of flying airplanes for the Air Force and engineering school at MIT and business school at Wharton I think it's very inspiring to a lot of our audience, because I think a lot of veterans struggle with, a direct translation of what they're doing in the service to what they can do in the outside. And you're a testament, as many other veterans are, that it doesn't have to be a direct translation, right? You can translate those skills in many, many ways.
Well, we were at an event down in San Antonio a few months back, and the Special Forces captain that led the team that went into northern Afghanistan and helped overthrow the Taliban by getting all the warlords together. And there's a movie about that called Horse Soldiers. Amazing person, but to meet him, you'd never guess. And he's now in the whiskey business, got a distillery. So quite a switch. Yeah.
Very nice. We had a question from someone in our audience that wants to know if there are any open markets remaining to buy into a Sport Clips franchise.
Yes, we have a lot of opportunities around the country. We have some states and some areas are closed out, but we're still bringing up. We brought in 2 people. We signed 2 new franchisees this week, one in Georgia and one in Connecticut. So there's still plenty of opportunities out there, and we certainly welcome veterans to get in touch with us and be happy to explain how our program works.
And Gordon, you've got, I believe Sport Clips offers a discount on the franchise fee for veterans as well. Is that right?
No, thank you for reminding me about that, Chris. Yeah, we give a 20% discount off the franchise fee for veterans.
Outstanding. So this one was really about another question around if you can think of maybe one of your most, I guess it's a 2-part question. One is, what was your most challenging leadership or biggest leadership challenge as you were starting Sport Clips? And the sort of the follow on to that, it may be related, is was there any point in founding Sport Clips where you felt like, man, I'm not sure we're going to make it?
Yes, to answer the second question first, it definitely were a few times.
Many times.
I was going like, what in the world were you thinking about? You had a great career with Price Waterhouse and life was good. And then you went off and did the hair business. And we had pretty extensive real estate holdings back in the early 90s. We bought a lot of things when real estate was in the tank in Texas. And I had to sell all of that to finance Sport Clips. I think the most challenging was just really trying to convince people to sign on with a brand new franchise. That was, if you think about it, I often wonder, so how in the world did I ever sell the first one? But we got lucky. We awarded a six store license in the first month that we were franchising, and I thought, wow, this is easy. But 18 months later, and we still hadn't sold another one. So that was kind of a rude awakening. But we hung in there. We took Winston Churchill's advice, and we decided not to give up, and we kept after it, and were able to overcome that. And it took us 5 years to get our first 50 locations open. And then we got the next 50 open in 2 years. And after that, up until last year, we're open on 100 or more every year. So perseverance is absolutely one of the characteristics of any successful entrepreneur. I mean, almost every entrepreneur, look at Apple, Steve Jobs. I mean, he got fired. And Apple
Right.
it was not doing that well for a long time. Michael Dell, they were just about to go upside down bankrupt in the early 90s, and he hung in there and turned it around, and now they're extremely successful. So those who persevere are the ones that typically will win out in the end. If you have a good, solid idea and good work ethic, and you have the right values and create the right opportunities for other people, that's the key to it. And then just making sure you're committed and keep after it.
Outstanding. Gordon, one other, just a couple more and we will wrap up. And if anybody has, actually we'll keep it open, but we'll probably have to pose these after, because we're going to need to wrap up in just a couple of minutes. Another question was around Sport Clips itself, in terms of the sort of the outlook that you see for Sport Clips and the growth that you see moving forward in that business, sort of post-pandemic, I guess.
Well, the second most trying management challenges we had was last year. This time last year, It was, whoa, we didn't know what to expect. That was really traumatic. But we sucked it up, and we made sure we were there for our franchisees as they wound down and shut the stores down. We formed task forces with our franchisees and worked on a number of different issues, helping them apply for the PPP loans that were offered through the SBA, making sure they had all the equipment ready to reopen when the green flag dropped for that in different places, and then helping them through that process and applying for forgiveness from the loans. So I think we actually came through stronger than we were before in a lot of ways. We learned a lot about remote learning and remote conferences like this. And today we're having a leadership, which is a quarterly program we used to do in each area. And this year, last 12 months, we've been doing them remote. And I was did a little talk on that earlier, and we had over 2,000 people on that Zoom call. And we were able to bring in world-class speakers. And so we were able to do some things a lot better today than we were then. We did not back off on our technology. We had a lot of projects in the work, and we accelerated that. So we have a lot of enhancements to our technology and the systems that will be coming online this year. That's going to put us in a very positive position competitively, because a lot of our challengers throttled back and cut programs, and we did not do that. We pressed forward. We actually ended 2020 with more stores open than we came into 2020 with. So I was very proud of that. And we have probably 60 to 70 stores on schedule right now to open this year. And we have even more that are going to be coming on next year. So I'm very optimistic about the future. My son is now the CEO, chairman, still involved in a support role, but he's doing a great job. And we have added a couple of people to our leadership team in the last year. And we're really in better shape right now today, I think, than ever to take advantage of opportunities will be out there. So I feel very optimistic about it. I was on another call earlier today with our trade association, Chain Salon Association. We had an economist, Alan Ballou, who's quite accurate, one of the few economists who could really nail it. And he had quite a positive outlook on the next few years. All the things you read about in the paper, and and the deficits and the potential for inflation and all the other things. He deals in hard data, and the hard data looks pretty darn good. The underlying economy is much, much stronger than you would be led to believe by reading the headlines in the daily news. So I feel very good about it. I think the next 5 years is going to be real strong.
No, good stuff. It's a testament to your leadership and your son Edward's leadership, leading the company through an extremely challenging year. Remote learning is impressive, Gordon, but I would have thought that maybe an MIT grad could have figured out a way to do remote haircuts. A little disappointed.
Well, Chris, I gave up on technology when we switched from DOS to Windows. So,
hey, last question here. We'll keep it light. Your museum. What is your favorite piece in the museum? So tell us a little bit about the Sport Clips Museum.
That was the background for the little welcome video we did. And that was something we did. That's a building across the street from here. There was a gym that went out of business, and we bought it from the bank and converted about half of it to the office space and training rooms. And I got a little space over there for our car collection. And that used to be the locker room. And so we still have the restrooms on either side, but we took a big piece of it and turned it into a museum. So when you walk in on the left is what Sport Clips looked like in 1993, and then as you go around the room is the evolution of the design of Sport Clips. So, for example, when we first opened up, we had little TVs at every station, but they're little 9-inch TVs like used to hang underneath the counter in the kitchen. I don't know if they still do those or not, but we went from 9-inch to 12-inch to 15 to 18, or 43 inches. So you can really see the evolution of Sport Clips as we've gone through the years. Colors have changed. There were bright reds and yellows and blues back in the 90s, and then we transitioned to the red, white, and black and so forth. So that's a fun thing about it. Then we also have a display of all of our posters going back through our NASCAR programs going back to 93. And I guess my favorite part is our Veterans Wall. We have a wall of plaques and things that pictures of things we've done with veterans with the VFW and the scholarship programs, the USO, Ageless Aviation Dreams, which is a really cool program that we sponsor. We've got 6 Stearman biplanes now that go around the country giving rides to veterans in assisted living homes, which is an amazing emotional event for everybody, for the veterans and for their families and for our people that are helping and so forth. And we are a major sponsor this year of September Operation Freedom. And our goal is to give 1,000 rides to World War II veterans all over the country, culminating into the Stearman reunion in the Midwest.
Outstanding.
So we're working on that, trying to get as many World War II veterans as we possibly can in the planes, because that opportunity is slipping away from us. And we want to try to give them one last good feeling.
God bless those folks. There's not many left, as you pointed out. That's a NASCAR hood on the back behind me here over my left shoulder.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
We were GI Jobs. This was a few years ago, the Daytona race, not the Daytona 500, but I guess the Independence Day race that's held in Daytona.
Okay.
One of our customers, farmers, wanted us to put GI Jobs on the hood of the car. So we had a brief experience in that, but it's fun.
Yeah, we've got a few pieces of race cars scattered around offices too. That's usually not a good sign. That's usually a sign that they wrecked. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I can't say enough how much your words inspire us and our audience and veterans. And we're very fortunate, I think, in the veteran community to have so many successful people and role models to look up to, like yourself. And for those who are transitioning and veterans, and for military spouses as well, we just want to thank you for your time today and for spending a few minutes with us. Thanks a lot, Gordon.
It's been my pleasure, Chris. I was really pleased to be here, and I hope we, a few words may have helped somebody give an idea to how they can help their career.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, that's a wrap with Gordon Logan at Sport Clips. We will pass it back to the floor and have fun out there. We've got 1 hour left in the Virtual Career Expo, and enjoy it, and talk to you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.